Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to Enigmatic 6 Expert Mode live with Light. I know George is not going to be here this week. I don't know if Frog is going to be here or not. We'll see. Our fusion reactor is still running. Our battery is still full. Our turbine still has some flow rate, so we're still using 39 kilophi per tick for our base and whatnot. So things are going pretty well over here. If we head on over here. Hey there, Mac. We've got 1.6 million buckets of that fuel. Which means we probably have like 1.8 million buckets of this fuel over here. $1.8 million. We've got an entire tank full of blaze honey. We're working on filling up this second one. And then we'll still have this third one after that, and then we can switch it over to trashing it instead. Let's see how we're doing on the Palo. We have 1.7 thousand of our 5,000 some Palo Verde leaves. Let's go and see whether or not this has turned itself off. Yeah, and so this turns itself off pretty much every time we leave. Thankfully, we don't use a whole lot of LPG. But it's just a little disheartening. And then over here, we've got a whole bunch of liquid XP. Barely even scratching the surface of what this thing can hold. There are a few things left to do for the tree. We'll need to do some landscaping as well to make it look a little bit more natural. But without those flowering Palo Verde leaves, not much we can do. We could theoretically speed that up by making some more hopper botany pots. And I'm fairly certain this will continue harvesting even though two of the things are full. And yeah, we could use the pots for other things later. But that was somewhat pricey, and I don't know if I feel like doing that this episode. So this, let's see if this... So we had a little bit of a backup. But yeah, so fluorite's full, sulfur is full. The yellow cake is going straight, or the uranium is going straight into this. And so we don't have a yellow cake or a uranium backlog. Probably should. But whatever. So this elite chemical tank is totally full. Once we start the fission reactor going, it'll drain from this. This will start back up again. We'll be able to see whether or not it's fast enough. I made a whole bunch of speed upgrades. And so we can speed up all these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. And there we go. We've got 4 speed upgrades in each thing. Okay, so once that starts going, it should be great. And now we need to head over to the nuclear plant and get that set up to actually do things. And what it needs to do is still process the waste into polonium and plutonium, but store that away in a buffer. But also, we need to have enough radioactive waste barrels for this spent waste for that to be deleted fast enough. Okay, so what we're gonna do, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then if we grab some glowstone. And then we grab ourselves elevator. Okay. And now we just come to the corners. Pop out a block. I'll make it easy to clean it all out. So how's it going out there in chat land? This is just going to be a little bit digging for a little bit. Doing all right, just chilling. Sounds nice. Wizard with a gun demo, huh? Yeah, I saw a game that was, I don't know if the demo's out yet or not. It's on Kickstarter, and I saw people on Twitter pushing it, that it's essentially Pokemon, but instead of making them fight to the death, you instead play volleyball. Which on its face doesn't sound that great, but the score is by Lena Raine, and the game is by the people who made Chicory. And so it'll probably be a ridiculously wholesome adventure. And so I'm torn, because it'll have a fantastic soundtrack. Lena's already posted some clips of some of the themes, and yeah, they're really good. But I don't know if I want to play Pokemon volleyball. Where they level up by the power of friendship. Wizard with a gun is don't starve, but with Old West cowboys who are also wizards. Interesting. That's the trouble with demos. Like, how do you make it long enough to get people on board, but also short enough that you're not just giving it all away? Just gameplay loop feels like it misses some of the main hooks. And the hooks are what you need. Well, sounds like Zula's making his way back inside. Seemed like he wasn't feeling very well. Oh yeah, and if something's not interesting within, I'd say even giving it an hour is a bit generous. But then again, like, TV shows need a lot of time to get running. Why shouldn't we forgive video games the same trespass? Yeah, done with the tutorial, done with the demo. Although that's still a fairly decent demo, just getting through the tutorial for certain games. Like, there are other games that the demo is barely anything. And then there's Final Fantasy 12. 13? Which one was it? The one that was just tutorial the whole time. Right, 12 was the one with the Gambit system. So it had to have been 13. It sounds like a decent demo. Yeah, playing a 2-hour demo for 13 hours does seem like a good demo. And like, it's demo, not early access. Because I think I've seen games go into early access with that much content. And people were like, come on. Yeah, I don't know what the meta is on demos. Because, like, back in the day, demos weren't to secure funding. They were to secure purchases. Whereas nowadays it feels like the demos are almost entirely to be able to fund the rest of the project. Although, to be fair, I don't know if I've ever actually bought a game that I played the demo for. Because like back then I didn't have any money. And so I had some discs of like hundreds of demos for games. And like I would just play that. And I'd run out of game and be like, oh, guess I'm out of that game. It's still amazing that you can barely even see the roof. Okay, so what we're going to do in here is we're going to set up a little bit of plutonium and polonium storage and a lot of spent waste disposal. Oh yeah, Alpha Centauri. I don't think I ever played the demo for it. I think we just owned it. Because we adored the original Civilization and pretty much any Civ likes that were out. Because there was a fantasy one. Masters of Magic, I think it was called. It was great. I went back and played it when I was in college, and I think I still enjoyed it. You should try to track down that game. It was quite enjoyable. Oh no. But yeah, Masters of Magic, it was a fantasy version. You choose a race, and then you get different units depending on which race you are. Because if you're the draconic species, then you get a particular set of things. Whereas if you're a set of dark elves, it gets something completely different. I don't remember if each town was a particular species. Like, if you conquered somebody else's space, if you'd end up with a different species so you could get different units. I'm pretty sure I played Heroes of Might and Magic as well. And I was not as big a fan of that one. Okay, so what we're going to be doing in here is we're going to have a bunch of nuclear waste tubs. A bunch of tubing going between them. Yeah, I don't remember what I didn't like as much about it. And it wasn't that I didn't like it. It was that I didn't like it as much. I think I was also a bigger fan of just the regular Might and Magic games. And Heroes didn't seem to gain as much from the mythos as the regular Might and Magic. Okay, so nuclear waste barrels. waste barrels. So we need lead and steel. Easy peasy. Let's put all this extra stuff away. And then make at least a couple of stacks of these. Yeah. Do I know the YouTuber named Kyle Hill? Is that Science Thor? The name sounds familiar. Yeah, science, quote unquote, Thor. Definitely more quote unquote on the Thor than the science. So yes, I am familiar. A video about what nuclear waste really looks like. Okay, we don't need ultimate pressurized tubes for this. We just need regular, good old-fashioned pressurized tubes. It's like rock and glass. Oh yeah, definitely not the gloopy green stuff. Okay, so we'll probably put it up top such that we can walk under it. It'll come in here, and so we need to disable every other. Yeah, contaminated objects are just like a side product, like you don't want those to ever actually happen. The real waste products. Yeah, because the main nuclear material should just turn into other nuclear material. And then you'd have extra random bits and bobs. But yeah, they'd re-solidify. Like everything in this process is either a solid or particulates. Wait. I want this one. Well, I'd expect the cooling tank to get pretty hot. Hello, server. Hello? Sorry, had a 0K event there. We're back, though. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. Okay, so this is all good. We just flip these around. Oh, I must be thinking of the wrong water then. Because there would be other water that is very vigorously boiling for the purpose of generating the power. But that might not be the cooling tank. I don't actually know all the parts of a nuclear plant. They didn't teach us that in school, and I haven't gotten around to looking at it just for fun. Like, I know the general gist of a lot of it, but none of the details of any of it. Oh, okay. So it's where you keep the stuff after it's done. Okay. I don't know the terms. Okay, so we crack that. 1, 2, 1, no, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so one of these will be for plutonium, one will be for polonium. We've got 14 tanks, so that should be 7 million buckets. So that should be good. So it'll come into these. These will process it, send it through those buffers to these machines. And so these will get moved to the ends of the buffers. We'll put new entangled blocks here. A small percentage of the fuel rod is used. I don't know if it's by choice or by necessity. There are a lot of things that seem wasteful, but you don't have a lot of choice. Okay, and so then it comes from those machines to the dumping ground. And so now we need to make the dumping ground, which will be most of the rest of this space. It'll just be a bunch of barrels. Such that it gets consumed faster than it's produced. And these are not a buffer. This is just a dumping ground. I think similar things could be said of this process. I think there's a way to re-refine some of the waste back into viable nuclear material, but I'm not going to do that. The byproducts eat up the neutrons. We need those neutrons to smash into things. Okay, so we need 28 plus 12 is 40 more. Right, speed of neutrons. Oh, stupid physics engine doesn't work properly with clipping. Collision detection is always the worst part of the code. Can't blame reality for having trouble with it too. Wow, that was 4 short on the pressurized tubes. There we go. Oh, we got an extra radioactive waste barrel. Currently empty, so it is breakable. We're not going to kill anyone if we break that. These are also empty. No one will be killed if we break these. And so we grab these entangled blocks, bring them over here, put them here. No. We were pulling out of the top, so we put them here. Okay, so that's those coming into spent waste disposal. Then we've got these. We need to make sure that these line up with the correct ones. So double check, empty, empty. That one has nuclear waste in it, but we're not breaking the actual block. We're just breaking something that has its sides. We are putting this at this end because stuff is coming into it. We are pushing into the bottom, so we just embed it into the ceiling. Okay, so is that correct? No. No, because we still want these We still want these to get nuclear waste from here. It's the other ones. It's the entangled blocks over here. That we need to put over there. And it's fun knowing just a bit about stuff. And then if it ever comes up and you're like, man, I actually want to know what it is that makes that do that. You can just look it up later. Be like, you know what? Now's a good time to know. Okay, so we've got this, which is bound to the solar neutron activator, and we've got this that's just going straight on in, which is not what we need. Unless it is there any other use for plutonium? Can make plutonium pellets, which are used for making infinity nukes. But we do want a backlog of plutonium. And so we're going to need to entangle this guy back over there. And then you have the buffer entangled back to this guy. Yeah, I've got a friend who's worked with the nuclear power industry and the regulations and just how they make sure everything doesn't kill people. It's really quite the thing. Okay, so it's set up gases to the east, but I want it to export gases to the west into the storage system. So we'll still get it from the bottom. It's going to input or output to the left. Good. Yeah, ionizing radiation. Really scary stuff. Okay, now this needs to be getting gases. Can we purple it? Well, does this need to output anything? Ah, it needed to output up to get rid of the spent stuff. That's staying the same. We know that. The rest can be input, and then that'll be fine. So we can just entangle these, and we'll be good to go. This one's already entangled to the main system. We don't have a lot of these left. But that's fine. So we can entangle this one and entangle that one. Okay. And then this is from the solar neutron activator. And so that'll be going over there at the beginning of the buffer. And then we can entangle this one at the other end. And then this is entangled, outputting gases up into the garbage. Perfect. Okay. So this one is the polonium. Can only be accessed from the top and the bottom. Okay, isotopic centrifuge is the one that's making the plutonium. There's a problem with the connection. Okay, good to know. Pressurized reaction chamber is the one using the plutonium. Any direction but the top is good. And yeah, the entangled blocks do keep track of which side is which is good for these blocks that you can configure the sides. And so there's the neutron activator. We pull from that. This will all be polonium, goes into that barrel. Good. For consistency, put this one in the ceiling too. And now we're going to have a potential problem with the isotopic centrifuge because of the sides issues. Yeah, so the sides of the block are based on which way you place it down, but once it's in the world, it would then realign to this. So I think we actually need to put this one up here because it's 2 blocks tall. I think we need... Wait. Facing east, but I had it set up facing west. Either way, I'm going to go and try to purple the bottom. And if we can purple the bottom, everything will be great. Otherwise, we're going to have to do some work. And yes, I saw all of those villagers in that well. They like it there. And that was a mimic. Okay. public pool. Everyone's allowed, even the iron golems. They won't rust. Okay, so we reconfigure the sides such that gases from the bottom are purple, input and output. Brilliant. Means we can turn off the rest of it. And so once we turn the reactor on, we should have waste come in from the bottom, have plutonium go out through the bottom, through the buffer, back here into this pressurized reaction chamber, which is set up to receive from the bottom. It will output through the top into the waste distribution center. The made upon a fenced-in village. Iron golems constantly falling in. Poor guys. And then that one is definitely set up properly. We just need to go check the solar neutron activator and make sure it's going to be outputting in the correct direction while the sun's up. Ooh, okay, that was close. Okay, solar neutron activator, gases. You know what? Let's do purple for everywhere but up. Okay. And so now that we're here, this is entangled over there, so it's going to remain full the whole time. These two, we can see whether or not they're getting the waste as it fills in. And then we can go check on other things. Let's make sure we are at a rate limit of 10. Good. And let's go. The water goes down sharply, but then should stabilize. Good. They've got their 5 millibuckets of waste each, which is good. And then this is pulling out nuclear waste. So we scram it and cry. Because that is very sad news. Because this was pulling the nuclear waste out of my isotopic centrifuge before it could be converted. So we cannot push and pull from the same side. Okay, so to solve this as quickly as possible, we are going to reroute these pipes over into the disposal network. And rethink our plan. Okay, so we hit this 3 times, we bring this up here, we hit this 3 times, we bring this over there, we bring this down out of there into somewhere, we bring this out, and this out. Okay, so that waste barrel is empty. This waste barrel is empty. All of those waste barrels are empty. And then all of these have 22 millibuckets each. Which is totally good. We have removed all traces of nuclear waste from these tubes. Now we cross our fingers. We have successfully not irradiated the world. Good job, everyone. Let's crack that one, put it back. Okay. So, moral of that story. Isotopic centrifuge is a problem. This one we can probably fix. This guy, we just come in here. That should have just worked. Why is it not just working? Because this... right. So, input from the bottom, output from the others. Okay, that one solved. It can only input from the one, it can only output from the one. You cannot pull... Okay, so that should work. I think the other problem is that we were forcefully pulling. And so I think if we tell our isotopic centrifuge to eject instead of pulling from the bottom, it will only send the stuff once it's done. Oh yeah, this is a breeze compared to real life. Yeah, I think the fact that we were forcefully pulling from the machine was pulling from the input slot, which should not be a thing. And so we come back up here, we come into this guy, our gases are set to eject on, so input and output are both from the bottom. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But now that we're not actively pulling, maybe it'll be better. So now we give it another shot. See what we get. Let's double check that our... Okay, so our disposal unit has already disposed of the waste from last time. We are not... Okay, we'll pick this one up. Put it back down again. So we're not actively pulling. So hopefully it'll push into there the completed plutonium. Water falls and then stabilizes. Making plutonium. But not putting it into the system. And it's nighttime, so the polonium's not being made. So it's making plutonium, but it's not sending it out. And so what we do is something ever so slightly different. We're just going to make a tiny adjustment, and it will make all the difference. And it involves 4 lead and 4 steel. If it's not going to output properly, give it somewhere to output to. So red in the bottom, blue out the left. Ah, but that is not the place to put it because it can only accept from the top and the bottom. That is not where I asked you to go. So we put it here. Put ourselves a pressurized tube. Pull from here into there. And now we've got a thing of plutonium. And then we entangle this and replace the centrifuge over at the buffer. Now, granted, we'll have to put it in the ceiling because it's a barrel. But that's okay. There's precedent. Oh, wait. It's already there. And so we just hit this, and it's now the barrel. And then we hit this to pull from that barrel. So now that barrel is empty. And all that plutonium is now over here. Brilliant. And now this is borked because, of course, it is. Unborked. Brilliant. Well, that's the thing, Mac. If it manages to fill up, we can just nuke this place because we've already got all the nuclear material we'll ever need. Because this buffer can hold 7 million buckets of processed nuclear materials. Plutonium is 10 nuclear waste. So that's 70 million buckets of nuclear waste. And so any overflow from the things that will make useful products back up into this 7 million bucket buffer comes back to here. But if it does manage to make 7 million buckets of these two things, we've got a problem, because then it would back up into the machine, which would then back up into here. And if this cannot produce waste and send it somewhere, it will explode. So if we thought that could happen, we could set something up somewhere that, like, puts a comparator on one of these. If it reaches relatively full, shuts the thing down. Let's do a little math. So let's suppose the sun never rises again. And so we're making 10 millibuckets per tick. So it's 512,000 millibuckets. Let me double check that it is measured in millibuckets. Okay, yeah. 512,000 millibuckets times 14 tanks is 7,168,000 millibuckets. Divided by 10 millibuckets per tick that it produces. And so that's 716,000 ticks, which is divided by 20 ticks per second, divided by 60 seconds per minute, divided by 60 minutes per hour, divided by 24 hours per day. Okay, so it could fill up. So this is saying if we set it to run, and it ran full tilt, it'd take 12 hours. So the moral of the story is we should probably build that failsafe. I don't know. Well, I wasn't going to leave it running. Like, this is the sort of thing that I would turn on for a stream and then turn off. But for good measure, let's check how comparators work on these barrels. And then we can set up a cute little scram system. The problem is my reactor doesn't currently have a logic port, so we're going to have to break the reactor. And this... yeah. Totally full already. Okay, do we have any comparators just laying around? We do. Brilliant. So this has nothing in it. Because of course it doesn't, because we haven't filled the thing up yet. This has nothing in it because we haven't filled the thing up yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it run for a while, such that it fills the machines. And then we'll see what sort of redstone signal it puts out. Now, I'm fairly certain we can break the reactor so long as it doesn't have any radioactive material in it. Right now, it's just fuel and water. Okay, now the problem is with the polonium machine, it's not going to fill up. Wait, what? Okay, so that should be processing. That should be processing. But I'm not getting any... I'm not getting any extra plutonium out here. It's all in here because it's facing the wrong way. There we go. And then... do we have the same problem here? We do. Brilliant. Okay, so plutonium's going up. Polonium is not. So we probably failed to... set that barrel to extract. No, barrel is set to extract. Why you no extract? Because there's nuclear waste in this pipe. Because of course there is. When in doubt, another barrel. So you put another barrel, we grab an elite pipe, put elite pipe. That has the nuclear waste. And now that's going away, so we just hit that. That is not what we wanted. We isolate this one. such that that is just polonium going in there. This one is empty. We leave it there until this nuclear waste barrel is empty. To assist in that process, we make another entangled block. Entangle this, we go add that waste to the disposal center. This is why we have a disposal center, for safely disposing of any nuclear waste that ends up places that it shouldn't. So we just grab this, put it here, crack it, and extract it. So now we've got a bit of nuclear waste, but that barrel over there is now empty. Come in here, double check everything looks good in here. Good, good, good. 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 Should probably heal those people. And so we now have an empty radioactive waste barrel. Okay, so they are running. And it's able to create the stuff fast enough, but the bees can't keep up. Which, admittedly, that's probably fine. Because that probably means that the bees wouldn't let it overflow everything. Wait. Why is the uranium... Why was the uranium going in the trash? Why is the sulfur going in the trash? Sulfur's not full. Okay, there's definitely something wrong. If it's trashing things that it needs. I thought... Ah. There we go. Let's make ourselves some low priority modules. And by low, I mean lowest. And put that here. And so now, no matter what, it should be sending things other places rather than the trash, right? Right? Wrong. Why? Why is it still sending it here? Okay, so let's head outside for a second. And we're gonna put the high priorities on each of these. What the heck? And just throwing it in the garbage, even though this one is not full. I don't understand. So you got the redstone furnace. Outputs to the right. There's nothing here, so it's being pulled from the right. And yet, half of them are getting thrown in the trash, at least. So I'm gonna make a low retrieval module. Okay, and then we come in here, we add to this filter all the things this place makes. So, coal, sulfur, fluorite, uranium, quartz, what else do we create? Gravel. Cobblestone. I remember seeing cobble in there. Yeah, trouble with the low is that it pulls too slow. Maybe if we try the medium? It seems faster. Except this. So that one's just coal. This one is fluoride and uranium, so these quartz chunks are something that should be pulled straight into the garbage. Okay. Let's grab our diamond bottle. Get these guys going. Polonium's still good. Plutonium should be backing up. Good. So let's go back over there. Take a look. Now, it may not have filled up the tube yet, but we were using low quality tubes. They don't hold a whole lot. There we are. We've got stuff. So if we go like this, and we go like that, we've got a power of 1. Okay. So then probably put the shut-off valve right here. And so let's see. Do we have reasonable building blocks? Oh, right, we didn't put the roof back on. Oh, we've got the Futura. Let's just use blocks of steel. And so we'd put a block of steel here. We'd put our redstone comparator here. Another block of steel there. And there. And why not there? What the heck? Let's build a whole platform. Then we grab our entangled block. Put it there. We grab our analog lever. And put it right here. With a strength of, let's say, 13. And we grab our redstone pen and go a little something like that. Set that to subtract. And then we grab our entangled binder for the sake of testing. We hit that. Let's turn this off for the sake of testing. And if we say don't subtract, I don't actually know how these modes work. I'm fairly certain we want subtract mode. Yeah, we're gonna need to make it take the signal, but that's gonna require us making the correct block. Okay, so yeah, that turned it off. Once it gets sufficiently high, that'll be good. But we need to actually make that. We need this logic adapter. Fairly certain we didn't make one. Well, that was easier than I expected. Okay, so we scram it. No waste here, no waste there. We crack it. Don't ask where the water went. It was there the whole time. Wow. Okay, so let's kick it up to 1. turn it on, and then that should turn it off. When this gets 1/15 full, so 34 buckets. So we'll leave that run. It'll do its thing until that gets relatively full. Then it'll shut itself off. Now the problem is, that's not actually what we want the shutdown to be. Like, not even putting it back here. What we want is an AND gate between the two of these. If both of them are full, then we shut it off. Because we can be completely full of plutonium and still producing polonium, and it'll be fine. It's just if both of them are backed up, it should be shut off. And so to do that, we'll need to set up an AND gate of some description. But I want to make sure this works first. Also, we need to make sure that our bees are actually doing their bee things, and the stuff producing the fuel is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And if the bees can't keep up with production, then we can't just leave it running anyway. Okay, so we need more speed upgrades. Because we have uranium in here, but it's not being processed fast enough to keep this running. But yeah, we don't have enough bees to keep this running. Yeah, hopefully it's not being dumped. Okay, so that went in there. That got in here. That comes in there. Everything's beautiful. Okay, this, oops, put that back. Okay, so that's still counting down. That, not really. And so here we've gained a few. And so this is not keeping up anymore. And now this is counting up. And so this is faster than it's being consumed on the other end. So that's good, if we could keep that going. Next step is just making sure we are making enough sulfur. Okay, lead dust, another thing that needs to go in the trash. There we go. That's how many items we had before. Uh, where does the stuff going into the trash can go? Onto a concentrated block of cactus. Hey. Hey, 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 hey. I saw that sulfur going right past where it's supposed to go. Hey. I don't understand. Like, these are high priority, high retrieval things going into a barrel that is very clearly not full. I'm not pleased. Whatever. Yep, let's go back. Oh, actually, let's check on our polonium pellet process. Okay, so that's stopped for the moment because it's nighttime. We can't make polonium at night. Because we can't use any method I know of to import sunshine. Yeah, I don't think there's any sunshine in the end. We could do a quick check, though. Fairly common question. Oh, right. Can't ask Reddit at the moment. Theoretically, it's always sunny in the end. But it doesn't seem to work. As of 1.12, the end is no longer always day. Daylight dimension mod. Adds a dimension that's super flat sandstone, always noon. That'd be nice. So polonium pellets require water, and this is not providing any. So we need to go and remove it from whoever is using it. Pretty sure it's Chocolate Island. So let's pick that up. Put that down. That's good. Steam holding steady. Over here. Water holding steady. And so this was just deleting water. Good old tidal locks. Okay, so now that that is picked up and not being drained infinitely super fast forever, we should be able to come back here. And there will be water for this. Okay, so that's good. This is still full. That has nothing. This has nothing. So this is slowly going down. Okay, so there's some ebbs and there's some flows because of the nature of bees. And then this would use shadow steel to make that. And so yeah, we're mostly just waiting on the polonium because we need this many of it. To be able to make the SPS, to make the antimatter. So that is quite a bit. And so being able to leave this run in our absence would be pretty nice. Currently at 16 buckets, so we're about halfway there. Numbers just keep going up. So yeah, that's all generally good. So I will probably only ever have it locked on whichever one I need to make more of. Oh. But we've got a problem. If we need polonium, but we're backed up on plutonium, at night, we won't be processing any. And so all of the nuclear waste will get backed up. And so the question becomes, how fast can we have the reactor running such that it only produces a half day worth of polonium? Like a half day's work worth of polonium. I think it's set up properly. Well, no, because it could do the 10 millibuckets per tick in this centrifuge. Because I didn't really want to make a backlog for the waste, because any waste that's still in the barrels gets deleted over time. Okay, so once this hits the threshold and shuts off, I'm gonna disconnect it from the centrifuge, just connect it to the activator and see whether or not it can run at 10 millibuckets per tick overnight. Fissile fuel is still full though, so it seems like the bees are keeping up. So that's good. Waiting for server. That's never good. Hello? I'm not having a 0K event. Well, that does its thing. Yeah, we could start working on the Terra Steel. And by working on the Terra Steel, I mean getting the Iasnium. Because that's the worst. Because we need 11 blocks plus probably 4 for each of these things. Okay, so the controller requires a branch of Yggdrasil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 branches of Yggdrasil. Each mana input port requires 4. Every fluid input port requires 4. Every item input port requires 4, and every item output port requires 4. So that number again for this is 11. 11 plus 24 is 35. 39, 43, 55. $55 plus 99 is 154. So we need 154 iasnium and ingots of the skies. Which, for the skies, isn't so bad. We've got tons of sky honeycomb. We just need to make another Spirit of Calling, which is one of each of the magic things, which that's probably fine. But 154 iasnium is a pain that we don't have a good solution for. So we can get 3 per ore this way. If we set up the ore quintuplicator, we could quintuplicate it. Yeah, and that 0.2% chance from an ore miner Jinn is just so incredibly small. And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna need this much plutonium, and so I might not leave it running for both. I might just set it for the polonium because that's what I definitely need at the moment. But plutonium's being made pretty quick. Yeah, and I forgot to check with Frog when his unavailability was going to be, because I did not remember if he was going to be out today or if he was going to be out on Thursday or both. I know that George is definitely out this whole week. Yeah, so that's a lot of iasnium. Do we have anything else that we could work on? We got the mushrooms, fungus, grass, and ferns. We're waiting on the leaves. We got the grass and those blocks. We get the enchanted green doors. Living root, we could work on making that transmutation catalyst. We can mossify a couple of things. Work on those oak leaves. And podzol. So yeah, podzol, oak leaves, mossy things. Transmutation catalyst. So let's take a look at the Transmutation catalyst. Fused rock is fine. Ingot of skies. Golden stone bricks. Okay. And then another botanical brewery requires another conduit. Requires another heart of the sea, because of course it does. I mean, they're not that bad, right? Heart of the Sea. Algal Lantern, Aquamarine. Hey, look, we still have some just laying around. Easy peasy. And so we can just ask for a conduit. Because we should have Nautilus shells coming out our ears. There's our conduit. We've got a decent amount of living rock. Inert trident. And then you can use sea infusion to make it a real trident. Neat. And serene and resonating, easy peasy. Okay, so it feels like this thing converts it right quick once it's daytime again. And so all we need to be able to do is store 20 minutes worth of waste. So 20 minutes times 60 seconds times 20 ticks. So that's only 24 buckets. Wait, 20 minutes is the full day. Nighttime's only 10 minutes. So we only need to be able to store 12 buckets. And I'm fairly certain elite pressurized tubes can hold way more than that. Yeah, we can fit 200 buckets just in one piece of tubing. I don't know how much waste we can hold in this thing if it backs up too far, but pretty sure we won't have a problem if we disconnect the plutonium. making progress. Okay, so... Transmutational catalyst. So we got the things to make that. I don't know if we have any brilliant fiber just laying around. We don't. Oh. That's how you start the goldening process. That's easy then. We just can't do it on site. And then infused rock we do in the nether. Do we have any of that? We don't. That's arcane stone. We got plenty. So we'll make a few extra of that. Oh, our bees are not keeping up. So if we want to be able to run this indefinitely, we're going to need to increase our bee production. Which is tough because it's already got a tier 4 apiary. So we need to add another tier 4 apiary and another one of each of the bees, or just another one of each of the bees. Trouble is, I don't think they spend as much time out of the hive as they spend in the hive, and so adding a second bee without a second apiary wouldn't double the production. Do we need to double the production? I don't know. But this fuel is dropping rather precipitously. Ooh, we should double check that all these are pretty much empty. Yeah, good. Let's see how this is running. Bitumen chunks. Okay. Yep, the Plutonium is definitely, or the uranium is definitely the sticking point. Go downstairs. Grab our other one. And see if just having two of them in here will make the difference. Yeah, because he won't be able to go in until the other guy comes out. Okay, so it took the sulfur that time. Yeah, I don't know what it was before that sulfur was being thrown away, but it seems to be working better now. But there's the uranium just walking on by. Right into the trash. Don't understand. And I don't much appreciate it, neither. Okay, so let's cut through here again. And so it's from here. Yeah, like I suppose I could remove the uranium from the filter. It's just that we produce so much sulfur. Yeah, so it's like when the sulfur is produced with the coal and the cobble, it's like, just send them all to the trash. Because they're all going together. Whereas when it's just the sulfur on its own, it goes through just fine. some uranium. Gets crushed. Gets smelted. Yeah, and so during the times where we have enough uranium, it fills it back up. Those times don't last very long. I don't suppose there's any way to speed that up. We got the storage upgrades. Got the breed time upgrade. We got hive upgrades. And that's it. Check on our... Okay, so it's production of uranium chunks from the centrifuge 50% of the time. Okay. But we produce 2 honeycomb blocks each time. And so on average, each time it should send one out. But that's not enough to just keep it constantly running. So if we wanted to keep that running constantly, we're going to need another apiary. Well, no, Mac. The thing is, you can only have one of each type of bee. Hello? That's the exact opposite of what I wanted. It doesn't care. I can't invert it. Like, hitting the thing that says invert it doesn't invert it. Okay. Okay. It can be set to either stop outputting a signal when its side input receives a stronger one, or subtract its side input signal from its output. So I definitely need to invert it. Didn't really want to put it all the way out. But here we are. And grab this. And so we place this, and we place that, and we place this. And like so. And then we put the inverter. Et voila. Could we make it look better? Probably. So let's pick everything up. So place, lever, redstone, comparator, relay, there we go. And then we raise the threshold. Let's put on subtract mode. Lower the threshold, off. Raise the threshold, on. Huzzah! Next step, we are going to disconnect the plutonium. And we're gonna use this one as our shutoff. And it doesn't matter the strength if it gets to that one. It should shut itself off. Okay, so does that mean it's daytime? It is. It's about noon. Let's go and heal the locals. Hello, Creever Joe. Like, get back here, human male. And then they just jumped right back in. Like, I know it's nice in there and all, but come on. Why can I not actually trade with them? Okay, so that person I can trade with. But the regular humans, it just blinks. Okay there, everybody. Good luck. Hopefully you'll survive. I suppose I could make a logic adapter for when it has excess waste and just tie it in. But I'd have to invert it. Oh, why? Like, I've got the inverter, and like, I suppose I could have that be the shut-off. Like, have that be the only shut-off. Yeah, let's do it. So we hit that. We hit this. We grab that, that, and that. Put one here. Put one there, and put one here. Put the inverter into this one. And then have this one be excess waste output. Have this be activation input. And then we go like that. And like that. And then what we do is we wait for this to fill up. See if it fills this up, and if it doesn't, we'll cut that off and see if that shuts down the machine. Because I don't know what it considers excess waste. Okay, so that's filling that up. Now we get to see how much it holds. The quest was probably to have 2 of these, and that's just for making the reactor. Pretty sure you're supposed to wire it like wiring it up like this. Okay, so let's set the rate down to 1. And let's disconnect that. And so it still doesn't think it has excess waste. And so it probably won't until it's full. Which is weird. Oh, we've got a bit of a problem here. I don't have a good angle on it. Ah, good angle on it over here. Okay, so it's probably fine. We should probably babysit it though. If you can hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay. I have returned. Let's kick the rate back up to 10. Okay, and so we'll see how high this gets before the sun comes up. Do we not have a clock? So yeah, I don't know if I trust this. And so we should probably do a little bit of testing to make sure that this all works the way we expect. Okay, so one coming out, one going in. Got a redstone block. Let's get a redstone lamp going. So, redstone lamp, redstone block. Okay, so it should work. So power, when this block is powered, we pull it with the dot, send it into the inverter, sends that in, turns it off. So my concern was pulling the signal from this block. Because redstone is weird sometimes. Because if we just had plain old-fashioned redstone, like so, you wouldn't have to have this dot. Well, the problem is the other things are worse. Like high temperature, critical damage, and insufficient fuel. Like, we might be able to create an insufficient fuel situation, but eesh. But this is a good enough proof of concept for me. This should work. Still probably not going to leave it unattended. Wait, did I just repair? My redstone pen gets redstone in it from me holding it. Okay. That's fun. Wait, didn't that have a ton of waste in it just a moment ago? Well, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, we don't need... any of this anymore. That is not what I wanted that to do. Let's check on that. Okay, so those levels are quite low. Wait. Oh, we're probably out of dust for our pellet making. Glass blower? Why are you paper? If you're a glass blower. Need those labels for your bottles? I guess. Okay, yeah, we are out of dust. So grab a stack, put it on in. What is using all of our water? Excuse me? Who or what is using all of our water? I didn't think I had one still on this reactor. I don't. So who's using all of my water? I mean, I know there's a water pump right there that I can just tap into, but still, who's using all my water? So, yeah, I don't know what's using all my water. Or if this was using all this water and that chuck is dead. It's possible. Let's go investigate. So I'm pretty sure I'm filling that water from the Britannia boat. Chuck is dead. Long live the Chuck. So, how'd that happen? Okay, so if we look at the chunk borders, we want him inside the middle one if possible. I think. Yeah, so we had him in this chunk. Well, the thing is that the Hopper Hawk wouldn't collect it because it only grabs living rock and living wood. So we don't really have room in here for him. And so I don't know if I want to put him under the boat or if I want to put him here in the sail. Yeah, I probably should put a hopper under him. Even if he's somewhere secure. Won't let me place him on there. So let's place him up here. And then we break that. Wait, why do I have another? Not gonna ask. Okay. Yeah, I think because the item should not have despawned. Like that's just the nature of chunk loading. That Chuck should have been here when we got here. I probably picked him up without noticing it. And then just made another one. And I do have a long distance pickup range. So who knows what actually happened. But Chuck was found. New Chuck has been placed in a secure Rockwool facility. Here's hoping that our nuclear facility will have an automatic shutoff when it reaches capacity. Do I want to risk that? I don't know. Oh, we should probably double check that water's good here. It is. Polonium's doing nothing because it's nighttime. Got 94 polonium pellets. Woo! I wonder if it'll stay manually scrammed. With the logic adapter telling it to be on. Okay, so it fills up pretty well in there. around midnight. But like that's a small fraction of what this tube can hold. So yeah, I think each one can hold 256. And so we're just over a 10th. I know it's 11 o'clock. I'm gonna wait the like 4 minutes or so for the sun to come back up and see just how quickly it runs through the 100 or so buckets of waste. Yeah, I don't think there's enough in there for you to even see what's in the pipe. Yeah, because it should be able to count up to about 100, and then it'll be morning. I know those numbers are probably quite hard to read. We're up to 85 buckets of waste. I would imagine people with glasses are better suited to read that than people without, because we're more accustomed to reading blurs that are just vaguely number-shaped. Any moment now. I don't know what counts as morning for... Oh, there it goes. Plummeting. That is quite the noom. Yeah. So it only gets 1/5 of the pipe filled up before it's gone. Okay, now to see whether or not it accepts a manual scram. Manual scram accepted. And so even though this activation is currently powered, it is scrammed, which is good. So this whole setup is pretty good We just need to upgrade the bees to be able to keep the fuel coming. Yeah, I thought we could manually scram it with the other setup, but I just didn't have a strong, firm memory of that being a thing that I did, and so I wanted to be sure. So yeah, we'll need another apiary. And to figure out the weirdness with the sulfur. But yeah, we would need another apiary to be able to produce the fuel fast enough to keep this running forever. But, I mean, we probably don't need to run it forever. Like, we could just turn it on during streams. Turn it off at the end. I don't know what game I would do. I was leaning towards Lantern Bearer. No, it was just, since it was just me, Minecraft does tend to be more fun with other people going, and so I was considering, if neither Frog nor George were going to be here, I might play something else, just something more intense. And so maybe Lantern Bear, maybe something else. Yeah, sound like villagers all the time. Huh? But I got a few games laying around that I could potentially bring out, or we could just keep poking at this, poking at the tree, making some more botany pots. But this was good work, getting this all set up, getting this going, getting the backlog good for both of these, getting the waste disposal good to go. Generally good work. Would have liked to have been able to be more confident in it running for a longer period of time. But it's okay. If we're gonna be gone, we don't want to back all of the uranium up into well, I think it would be the uranium chunks. I'm not entirely certain what would back up into the centrifuge, but now that the stuff isn't being consumed, we should probably re-add the uranium here. Just such that we don't clog everything back up. Okay, so those will probably be nice and full by the next time. Probably should have reorganized this such that we could get a huge backlog of uranium, but c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Okay, so nothing will explode by the time we come back. And we'll figure out what we want to do next time. Oh yeah, let's check that quest. Just real quick. Mechanism. Hey look, safety precautions. 2 logic reactor thingies. Oh, we got the vanilla stuff necessary for having the switch. History has shown us time and time again that a safety-first approach is the only sane way to work with something as dangerous as nuclear physics. 3 Mile Island may have been a disaster, but the fact that nobody died is a testament to the importance of safety protocols. With that said, it's worth the effort to build some safety systems into a mechanism fission reactor as well. Wiki has an excellent entry on circuit breakers here. The reactor may go supercritical and explode if it overheats, the leading cause of which is that it has run out of coolant. Therefore, the circuit breaker should trigger on high temperature. It may also be prudent to build a second circuit breaker for excess waste to prevent venting radiation into the surrounding environment. Warning: Enigmatica 6 has tweaked steam production rates, so do not assume your reactor is safe. Test rigorously. So yeah, most likely once the waste gets to the top, it'll be like, stop! And it'll stop. My only concern is if it would get to the top and it would vent just a little bit of radiation. And so we'd have a little bit of radiation sickness going on. Just the tiniest little bit. But that's more than I want. But all in all, everything seems good. I'll be back on Thursday. I don't know if Frog will be here or not. I might check. I might not. I might just be like, you know what? I'm playing Lantern Bear. And he can play Rogue Legacy 2 and everything will be great. So, thank y'all for being here. And I'll see you in the next live stream of Enigmatica 6 Expert Mode Live with Light.